Good morning, here we are on the first leg of my multimodal trip to Doha. This is the first leg. I am here in Northampton train station, just being dropped off by my lovely taxi driver, a very nice spacious Mercedes, which is always nice. Very, very cold here this morning in Northampton. The weather in Doha, on the other hand, is about 28 degrees, so that's really, really great. Very much looking forward to the sunshine. Northampton train station, which I haven't used for a very long time. In fact, I haven't used the train for about a year, so should be an experience. Hopefully it'll be on time. There are lots of strikes going on at the moment. Hopefully my train isn't disrupted and I can get to London Euston, and then it will be London Heathrow Terminal 4 via the underground. My 10:05 to London Euston. So far it looks like it's on time. I'm glad to be out here for December and New Year, because frankly I've been waiting 5 days now for a post to come through via Royal Mail, and that's still not arrived. It said from tomorrow the trains will be on strike. Underground in London will be on strike. The doctors and nurses, everybody is going to be on strike. So understand the politics of it. Lots of very greedy people at the top, not wanting to share the loot with lots of people who are making these trains run, underground system run, doctor surgeries, ambulances, etc, etc. It's always a lot more complicated than we see on the outside, obviously, but it does seem like the vast majority of us are held hostage by two sets of people on either side of the debate, and we're going to be suffering. So I'm not going to miss this place at all over the next 4 weeks, and I hope that the Doha, from what I've heard, the Doha metro system is operating very smoothly, as is the World Cup, contrary to everything that I've heard here over the last couple of weeks in the first early stages. But I'm going to Doha at the business end of the World Cup to watch the quarterfinals, to watch the semis and the final itself. The sun is shining, but it is very deceptive because it is very, very bitter and cold, and you can see signs of the ice slowly starting to melt away, but it was very, very icy this morning when I woke up. I did also hear that it rained in Doha last night as well, so that's a bit of a surprise, but it's about 28 degrees from what I can see on my temperature gauge for Doha, so that's perfect. I'm going to be making a number of these videos just reflecting on my time there, and also just picking up on some of the things that we've all been hearing in the media about this World Cup and how it is the most controversial World Cup in modern times. So I'm going to try and dispel some of those myths and try and present to you the World Cup that is going on in Doha, that mainstream media isn't picking up, but luckily social media is able to portray the true reflection of what is going on the ground and how people are enjoying themselves. So this is going to be very much unedited, uncensored. I'm going to bring you raw footage of exactly what's happening. There are lots of places I'll be going. I am familiar with Doha, having been there many, many times, so I'll try and bring a different perspective to the place, in addition to the World Cup games and everything surrounding games itself. So I have now reached London Euston, onto the third leg of my journey this morning to Doha. Remarkably, the train was on time. 1 hour and 15 minutes. It wasn't very busy, which was nice. But here we are in Euston, and I'm heading towards the underground. It's going to be about 50 minutes via the Piccadilly line on the London Underground to Terminal 4 at London Heathrow.
Just eat and drink on the station. For information on National Rail bus and tube times.
Familiar with the underground system again because I haven't used it for a very long time. I have to now take the Victoria line to Green Park and then the Piccadilly line to Terminal 4, London Heathrow. It's not very busy here, but by London peak time standards, nonetheless still very busy. So I'm going to make my way down to the Victoria line and then on to the Piccadilly line and hopefully on to Terminal 4 in about an hour's time. I think I just missed a train, but there should be another one in about 3 minutes' time.
Victoria Line, the next train to Folkestone will arrive in 1 minute.
Obviously I'm not from London, but I imagine if you live in London then the underground is very much an essential part of your day-to-day commute. But it's nice to be in the underground sometimes, especially at off-peak times. It's a lot less busier, obviously.
116. See it, say it, sort it.
In fact, I was reading a few months back about the London Underground, and they did a survey where they discovered of all the dirt and grime that is on the trains, and discovered that human feces was the most common.
This is South Ealing. This is a
of all
Piccadilly
their
line
findings.
service to Heathrow
So that's
Terminals 4
interesting. Let me
and
know
Terminals 2 and 3.
if you use the London Underground, why you feel that there is so much human feces on the seats and the handles and the rails and everything else. Just thought I'd share that interesting fact with you. The lady carrying the very big Harrods bag has now departed. Of course, the London Underground system is very, very old, and these trains are probably
The next station is
not the
Northampton.
oldest trains, but certainly old still. I did 2 weeks work experience on the Doha Underground. I never got to use it when it was completed, just after the COVID pandemic. So it'd be nice to go back to Doha and use the Underground for the first time. Everybody tells me that it's very clean, safe. It should be. It's only a couple of months old, but it's very efficient as well. So we shall see.
Next is Heathrow Terminal 4.
I have now reached Heathrow Terminal 4 station, roughly 2.5 hours after leaving home this morning in a taxi, followed by a journey on the mainline train to London Euston, and having spent the last 40 minutes on the London Underground, avoiding all the rails and everything to make sure I don't pick up any nasties. I have finally arrived here at Terminal 4 Heathrow, and it'll be a couple of hours and then on to Kuwait via Kuwait Airlines. So this video, this collection of videos which are going to be merged together, which you're watching, is actually a selection of videos I've taken en route, pausing at each juncture. It's basically going to end when I reach Doha early on Friday morning around 4:30, and then terminates proper once I get into the FIFA fan club accommodation, where I will be staying until the end of the final, and then move on to the Pearl Qatar, which is an apartment as I'm staying on for a few days after the World Cup final itself. All seems very, very quiet. It is about 12:30 in the afternoon, so certainly not peak time, but I would have expected a few more people here, but it seems to me like there are only a handful of us, so which is good. It's always good to avoid the crowds. My accommodation, the FIFA fan zone accommodation in Al Wakra, just coincidentally happens to be where the England team is also based. Great planning, you might say, but actually it's more luck. I chose that one because it was closest to the airport. So here I am at Terminal 4 departures. It's not very busy. It's not quiet either, but I've seen it a lot busier, which is good. I'm happy with that. Gonna be here for a couple of hours, check in, get the luggages in, grab a bite to eat, and then go through security. I do travel light, so it's only going to be a small backpack, and then onto Kuwait Airways. I haven't used Kuwait Airways before. It's a 3-star Skytrax 3-star airline, which is not brilliant. Certainly not Qatar Airways, which I've used to go to Doha previously. But we'll give it a go and see what they can do. The reviews aren't great. Hopefully they'll improve on some of their customer service, and I can say a few good words at the end of the journey. So I've checked in. It was fairly straightforward. Doesn't look like it's a full flight. A little bit of entertainment there. Looks like a robot cleaner here, which is interesting. It seems like everything's being done by robots these days. Shopping's being delivered, cleaning's being done by a robot. I wonder if there's going to be anything left for us to do in the future. So anyway, I'm going to go and pray and then grab something to eat. Definitely not having any coffee. Not that I'm a big coffee drinker, but this particular place, I had a coffee a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely rank. I'm a tea man myself. But do you drink coffee at Cafe Nero, or is it Costa and Starbucks? They seem to be the most popular. Let's go and find the prayer room. I need to rest my legs a bit as well. So a few signs that the World Cup is going on at this airport, Terminal 4. Not many. I'd have thought I would have seen a few more considering England are in the quarterfinals, but it is what it is. I'm just wondering if anybody's used Kuwait Airlines before. As I said, this is my first time. It hasn't got great reviews on Skytrax. It's only a 3-star airline. So if you've used Kuwait Airlines, or if you've been to Kuwait, do let me know in the comments box. And also, all of these videos are literally just stopped and started. They're not being edited. They're not filtered. They're not censored. They are literally what they are. What you're seeing is what I'm seeing. You're probably wondering why you're not seeing me. There's a very, very good reason for that. Those that know me well will know that my 3 favourite places in the world: library, airport, and the third one always surprises everybody, is a cemetery. Yep, a cemetery. So very quickly, library. Spend some quality time, quietly, learn about the world. Come to the airport and you see the world. And I have known to have spent a long time in airports, meeting people, having a coffee, having something to eat without actually flying anywhere, even though I do carry my passport with me everywhere. And then the cemetery. The cemetery is, for me, is also a very peaceful place, because there you get to realise all the people that are there, buried there, have done exactly what we're all doing now. Walking the earth, working, having fun, travelling, raising families, etc, etc. And it's just a time for reflection at a cemetery, really, just what we can miss if we let the world go by. So we have to make the most of it, do the right things, be good to people, bring some happiness and joy to other people's lives, and one day that will be our destination. Slightly morbid, but you can see my logic, I'm sure. So let me know where your favourite places are. It's never a good idea to exchange currency at the airport. The rates tend to be pretty lousy. But just for some pocket change, I'm going to see what the rate is today, and maybe exchange a couple of £100 just for the journey from the airport, which, mind you, will be via the metro, which is free for those of us that are carrying the hire card for access to the stadiums and the fan zones. So this is the quietest I've seen security for a long, long time. Clearly, people are not travelling as much as they did previously. Or maybe it's just not peak time. 1:30 in the afternoon. Terminal 4 Heathrow. Splattering of people. Not busy at all. This is a shot of security. Absolutely no queue at all. Very subtle sign of Christmas. Well, duty free. I rarely buy things from duty free. Maybe the odd perfume once in a blue moon. I find it a complete utter waste of time carrying all this stuff around. If I want something, I'll get it from the country I'm in.
Are you going to stay with? So you mean when you go to see him, you're going to stay with?
Yeah, saan mo ni sawa? Yeah, mula mo punta na di ko dapat picture.
I'm sure people in the UK noticed Saudi Arabia advertising a great deal during the World Cup. Interesting, inviting people to go to Saudi. You got to grab some lunch. I do like a Pret sandwich. It's simple, uncomplicated, extortionate here at the airport, but it's still a good sandwich. Right, seeing as we got a couple of hours, let's go and see what this 3-star airline lounge looks like. That wasn't bad. As far as premium lounges go, it wasn't the best. It certainly wasn't Qatar Airways, and it wasn't the worst. I wish I hadn't had that Pret now. A good selection of food there. Obviously didn't want to be recording anything in there. It's not very premium to be going into a premium lounge and recording everything. So we're back to the gates. I'm going to be boarding my airline shortly. So after a 5.5 hour journey from London Heathrow, I have reached Kuwait International Airport. It's just after 1 o'clock in the morning. A small airport compared to some of the others in the Middle East. Then again, Kuwait is a small country. So the reviews for Kuwait Airlines. I can't see myself putting too many positive things on any reviews. The staff did their best. The dinner they served the mutton or lamb, whatever it was so rubbery. I think if I chewed it anymore, I could be blowing bubbles with it. It wasn't pleasant, but I am here. I've got a roughly 2-hour wait, and then another Kuwait Airlines flight to Doha, which is just over an hour. I will get there just before 5 o'clock local time. It is very, very quiet here. There aren't too many people. Not too many flights are coming in. I'm going to go and check out this lounge, Kuwait Airlines lounge, see what they have to offer, and maybe spend half an hour in there, see if I can get some snacks, check some emails, and then be on my way. So I managed to use the Qatar Airways premium lounge facilities for about half an hour. Nothing to shout about really. The buffet was fairly standard, but it was some nibbles anyway, which was good. Thanks to Regis for access to these lounges across the Middle East. Quick look at the duty free here in Kuwait. I don't plan on buying anything, I never do, but it was interesting to see if there's anything different. The reality is there isn't. So I'm going to quickly pray, and then roughly an hour's wait before my connecting flight to Doha. I'm going upstairs to check out another lounge, see what that has to offer. Probably similar sorts of things. As I have an hour to kill, I might as well check out this airport and what it has to offer. So I tried to blag my way into this VVIP lounge area, which security said to me isn't covered by my access to various lounges in the airport, but I did get a chance to look at this. I have no idea what it is. What it's meant to be. Clearly a VIP carriage. Not a classic car of any distinction. So on this occasion I will not be going into this Al Diwan Al Amiri VVIP lounge, unfortunately, but there are some nice soft seating. I can rest myself in and watch a bit of telly. So after a short flight across from Kuwait, I'm finally here at Hamad International Airport. It's 5 AM and there's a good flow of people, supporters, fans coming from all parts of the world. But it's still a very nice, calm airport. This is the standard bearer for all international airports. Hamad International is currently ranked the #1 airport in the world, ahead of Tokyo's Haneda and Changi Airport in Singapore. This is a beautiful airport, and to go with a beautiful airport, Qatar Airways is also the #1 airline currently in the world, probably in the top 10 for the last 10 to 15 years. So everything that you can expect in terms of quality, service, customer care, cuisine, entertainment, it's all here, and the football's brought everything in even bigger scale. So I'm on my penultimate leg of my journey since 10:30 this morning, and I set off from home in Northampton, following a short taxi ride and then a train ride and underground and then 2 airlines via Kuwait. I'm here at Hamad International, and it feels like football is within reach now. Lots of gimmicky things going on. I have wondered about this mascot. Looks a bit like Casper the Ghost, but it is what it is. It keeps people entertained, and that's fine by me. Just to find out what's going on here. It looks like there's some help for supporters coming in. I do need to find out where the FIFA ticket office is, so maybe these guys can help. So I'm on the free shuttle bus service to the accommodation. It'll take about 10 minutes to get there, and hopefully, thanks to the good lady at the counter at the airport, I should be able to get into my room and get some rest. It's Friday as well, so I have to go for Friday prayers, and then I have to go to the FIFA office to go and see if I can pick up another ticket. So all is good. I'm on the very last leg of my journey. Another 10 minutes and I shall be home.